I had rags around my feet, and in this temperature, my toes froze. Oh my goodness. And when I got to the hospital, the doctor came in to examine me. He unwrapped the rags, and he took off my big toe, and he was holding it like that. And I started to scream, and I saw the doctor's eyes. The tears ran down his cheeks, and he kept saying, little girl, you know, you're our daughter. You're the daughter of this hospital. Nothing bad could ever happen to a daughter of this hospital. You're going to be fine, sweetheart. Don't worry about it. I shouldn't worry, but my toes are gone. And I was young, and I figured, if I don't have any toes, how am I going to walk?
Hi, I'm Congresswoman Laura Gillen. I'm here today at the home of Leah Goldberg, who is a Holocaust survivor who just turned 100. It's so important that we preserve and we hear the stories of the horrors that happened in the Holocaust, so we can make sure that we are doing everything we can to end the stem of hate.
My name is Leah Goldberg, and I'm 100 years old. My brother was 5 years old, the one my mother gave birth to when she died.
Yes.
And he was brought up by his grandmother, my mother's mother. And she was in her room, and she saw two soldiers, German soldiers, stopping at her house, and they were looking in all the directions of her house. So she turned to my brother. This is, by the way, what neighbors had told my sister and then my sister, because neither one of us was there anymore. He was running in an alleyway between two homes. And when he reached the end of the alleyway, there was a big fence. And he was 5 years old. He didn't know how to climb. So he turned around in both directions, stopped to look where could he go. At the same time, the German soldiers standing on the sidewalk and watching him. And he took out his pistol from his holder, and he took one shot, and my brother got the bullet. And my grandma started to scream in the house. She said, I just killed my baby. And the neighbors came running in, saying, what are you talking about? And she says, well, I sent them out, and look what happened. Now he's dead. They killed. Why did I do that? Why did I kill my baby? So the neighbors were trying to calm her down and say that you're lucky that you sent them out, because this was the time when the Germans announced that they're going to kill all the children first, because the children might grow up and they would be against them. The older people, they can take care later on, but first they have to kill all the children. My grandfather bought that house, and then it became a house and a business. He was in the business of wholesaling butter and eggs. So before the war, he used to have very nice customers that he used to ship to Germany.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to ask about these two things. I understand this candlestick was your mother's, and
Yes.
this was your father's?
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about these items and how you kept them?
So this was buried in the woodshed of our house. When the war broke out, he was always thinking ahead, and he knew what to expect.
Mm-hmm.
So he buried the things that mattered to him and worthy of saving.
Mm-hmm. You told me before about your father that he read a lot.
Yes, he read a lot, knew how to figure out for the Germans going from one city to the next.
Mm-hmm.
He figured out. That's why he told my uncle that he shouldn't stay in his house, because he's afraid that tonight they might be coming into this town. Mm-hmm. We all went into the cellar. Being in the cellar, mm-hmm. you could hear the footsteps of the soldiers running in and around and in the house. The next morning, my uncle opened the lid from the cellar, and that's all he saw is sand. As far as he can see, in any direction. There was not one house or business or anything, just sand.
So the Germans came and burned the whole town down?
They were all burned in their sleep. So at that point, he decided to leave, like the few people, mm-hmm. very few, because most people in the center of the town just went down with the flame. I constantly wondered, how in the world can these people live with themselves? Mm-hmm. So I wound up in Siberia, Russia.
Tell me again about how that happened, how your sister got sent to Germany and how you wound up in Russia.
So my sister remained at home. Mm-hmm. So that was my father's wish, to save 2 children in this world. And he kept saying to my sister, when she cried, "Why are you sending me to the enemy?" So he says, "I'm sending you because when I die, I'll know that I'm leaving 2 children in this world." And he had 6, but he couldn't send away little Hannah when she was 3 years old, or the others was a 1-year-old. So nobody was accepting the little ones, mm-hmm. for any work. So the only ones that he could send away is the older ones. So I was 12 and a half when he sent me away with my uncle. After the war, and one day a soldier came and he addressed an officer, and I addressed him by his name. So my sister says, this is a Jewish name, an American and a Jewish name. So she asked him, are you Jewish? He says, yes. She says, why? Yes. So she says, because I'm Jewish too, but I can't admit to it, because if I admit to it, I wouldn't be here for too long.
Why is it so important for people in Congress, in leadership positions, to fight back against hate and anti-Semitism?
Well, because they should look back from the past, because we don't want something like that to repeat itself any place in the world.
In Congress, we're making sure that we're sharing stories like yours to try to prevent this from ever happening again, called the HEAL Act. It's Holocaust Education and Anti-Semitism Lessons. And it's to get a study done to show how we can make sure people know stories like yours. Why do you think it's so important for people to hear your story and the stories of other folks who lived through the Holocaust?
I personally think that it's important that people should know to see the light and the distance, and recognize it and not fall for it again. It should, God forbid, happen again. And I'm not just talking about Jewish people. Hatred is not measured by a yardstick. And she asked if anybody knows where her sister Leah is, to please call her on that phone number. I was standing outside with the piece of paper with the phone number, and tears running down my cheek. And the man passes by, and he says, "Little girl, what are you crying? Can I help you?" So I said to him, "Do you know where there's a phone?" So he says, that's very easy. So I thanked the man, and I ran as fast as I could. And I saw the phone, and I was wondering, I'm going to try first what I know best, and it's my Jewish language. And lo and behold, the soldier answers me in Yiddish.
Oh.
When I called her, and she answered, and she came, and she took me back. And I looked up at the ceiling. I said, "Daddy, you know where I am?"
What?
And then I answered my own question. I said, "Of course you know, because you sent me here. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here." And I thanked my daddy. Didn't know where my daddy is. My daddy wasn't listening anymore because he was dead already. That was the time when I found out that I have nobody else, only my sister. She didn't tell me right away everything. She first wanted to introduce me to the Nazis' wife, because when the Americans came into Germany, they arrested the husband, and they put him in jail. He was wearing a long tie. The same day that they arrested him, he hung himself. Let's put it this way. I am a miracle of miracles. My children and my grandchildren are my best joy. Continue seeing good things by my children.
would you say to somebody who said that the Holocaust never happened?
So I said, this is just the same as I would say, you were never born.